Alright guys, we're back at more Horizon. We're still doing this mission, the Cradle of Echoes, but we have a lot of optional dialogue things here, so we're gonna do
I
that.
wondered at some point, I just couldn't tell what was real anymore.
Aloy, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just, checking up on how everyone's doing.
You mean after meeting someone who looks exactly like you, but isn't you, down in the basement? Guess
Sure.
this must be even stranger for you than it is for us, huh?
Little?
Varl said she may be able to help us in our mission, though.
Maybe. What else have you been up to?
I've been studying Gaia's seedlings, the subfunctions. I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they did to Fa. Imagine my surprise when I looked into this Hephaestus and found out it helped create all machines, our land gods included. In a way, the Utaru owe Hephaestus our whole way of life, as well as our current troubles.
That's why we have to make Gaia whole again. Learn anything interesting lately?
There's been much to read up on now that Aether has been reunited with Gaia. It's hard to imagine that machines like Stormbirds once helped heal the skies. I used to be terrified of them as a child. Thunder still brings chills to my skin. But everything Gaia creates has a purpose, no?
Yeah. And if we can get Hephaestus back, she can get those Stormbirds in there. You said you met Beta?
Varl mentioned she was hurt. I thought I'd offer her an extract to soothe the pain.
That was kind of you.
So she's like a
I
part of
just
the
hope
crew
she
now?
doesn't plan on staying burrowed down there like that. She looks like she's barely seen the light of day as it is.
I need to get going.
May the land bloom in your steps.
Aloy.
There are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
No, I have to do. I thought it was an R2 one. Going in there. I don't have anything I can actually use, right? So that's the same. So. In there.
Looks like some of the holograms are working now.
I have repurposed the displays to track Regala's activity in the region.
Useful warm-up.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, but I must ask. The woman Varl and Aaron brought in, she's related to you.
It's hard to explain. She's more of a copy.
Good. If she's anything like you, we've just gained reinforcements.
Maybe. You said you were training with the Focus?
That's right. I've been watching holograms of your first fight with the Zenith Spectres. They are faster and more agile than any machines I've faced before. How many do the Zeniths have?
I'm not sure. Probably a lot.
I would not wish to face them en masse.
I'm with you there. Getting Aether out of the grove made for quite a spectacle.
One that showed the entire tribe that Hikaru's mission for peace is the correct path, for it is now blessed by the Ten themselves.
I heard my friend Talana came by the base. Did you get a chance to meet her?
Briefly. A bold woman going into Tanakh territory with that Karja armor of hers. She'll be lucky if my people don't shoot her on sight.
But this makes
She'll be
a lever.
careful.
Fuck it, lever.
She's just...
Didn't she come before he came here?
Whoever it is,
Whatever.
they better be worth dying for.
Have you had a chance to speak with Varl?
Briefly. He fought well against Regalla's troops at Barren Light. Are all Nora as skilled as the two of you?
I'm not exactly one of them. But anyway, the Nora can hold their own. They managed to push the Karja from their lands.
I thought my tribe was the only one to have done that. Impressive.
Wait, what? What's new
Why
here?
did Takote think you wouldn't be a threat to him if he sent you to the Cool Route?
Takote knew that if I survived the Cool Route, I'd be forced to forsake the clan to serve the Tenakth as a whole. I'd never be allowed to challenge his command, even if I wanted to. After our victory at Barren Light, Takote spoke to our people, said it would be selfish to rob Hikaru and the marshals of a warrior like myself, even though he knew perfectly well I had no intention of ever leaving. It was exile, guised as an honor. One he knew I couldn't refuse. So I became a marshal, and never looked back.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I know. Though it pained me at the time, a marshal is what I was destined to be.
I need to go.
On your way, then.
I do like that this feels like a Mass Effect sort of thing here.
Errand? You okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
Because there's two of me now.
Right, there's two of you now. Well, at least you seem to be handling it okay.
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm trying. What you reading next?
I saw Gaia added something to the archives about metal rods being used to harness lightning during storms. Guy reminded me of a cousin of mine. Thought he could trap lightning if he covered himself in Stormbird plates. Went up the tallest mountain in the claim to prove it. It ended like a lot of Oseram things do. With a spark and a boom.
What are you working on with your focus?
I'm still figuring out how to read stuff on this thing. Those two lovebirds over there have been giving me a hand. But to be honest, all the little symbols, they give me a headache. But I'll get up to speed. I promise.
Did you speak with Beta at all?
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. And when she did, I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Varl took care of her. No use crowding someone when they're in a state.
What do we want?
I have to get going.
Don't go causing too much trouble.
So... I guess we'll... go here first. We'll do both, right?
Door's locked. Maybe Gaia will be able to get it open later.
Sure. Well, you can see the thing through it.
Aloy, glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare?
So
It's
weird.
primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Rebooting.
I just love how she has like a billion focuses in this game.
So, Aloy, I suppose you want information.
About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago?
That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed.
So far, Zenith established a colony world after all.
Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so... the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves?
Not their descendants.
Yeah, it's
What?
them.
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you're...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over.
Not surprising.
So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone just to take over?
When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they butchered the tribal people we encountered. They didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of the system. Then they can redesign it to be exactly what they want.
Mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing that. The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facilities. So they made you. Trained you. And you went along with it?
They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened to Gaia and her subordinate functions. That's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix Gaia. That they must have made me. So
This is really interesting, though.
Extinction signal failed.
So these are the original people from like
Reboot
1,000 years
for
ago.
their own benefit.
It's like those people are the ones that like essentially like made the entire story happen, right? Because if it wasn't for them, then the signal wouldn't have been sent out. Yeah.
So you know about the extinction signal? It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also...
I do really love how this
Sobek to rebuild her.
Yeah, well... surprise.
continues off of the original game.
So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them?
They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do what he says.
Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab.
He enjoys hurting people.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zenith set up a base here on Earth. Where is it?
Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside of a Spectre drone. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talking about it once. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine lures. must be impregnable. What's inside the base? Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus, infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need.
Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met?
I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space. Other survivors of the colony.
Interesting.
You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. What happened?
All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an extrasolar object or a cataclysmic seismic event. Or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A.
The Zeniths never told you any details.
They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius.
Guess they survived old age, too. How did you escape the Zeniths?
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research facility, I saw an opportunity.
You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to capture Eluthia. What did you do, exactly?
Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me.
The one the rebels killed, outside the facility.
Bana's dead? How did they bypass her shield?
I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape?
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eluthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. But I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
Oh.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Eluthia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me.
Well done.
Interesting.
You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb, I'm guessing?
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber aboard the ship. An updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth's DNA.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA. Do you know how they got it?
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed to access.
You said you spent years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database. Before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters, my tutors would deny it.
To have all that knowledge, just out of reach. Must have been frustrating. You
Is
said
that
you
one or
spent
no?
years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database. Before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists.
So is that going to be the end game of the series, just to restart everything? Like restart everything
If I
like
requested
the
information
way it's
outside of
supposed
my
to be?
parameters, my tutors would deny it.
Like to actually use Apollo and all the other ones?
Just out of reach. Must have been frustrating. All right, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to come upstairs, or...
So how long? you know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Guy is powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What?
What happens if he does
You
last?
don't have Hephaestus already?
Guy is still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined
Or
to a single location. Of course not.
does this activate after you do any
You
of
didn't even
them?
know who the Zeniths really are.
I assume it's that then.
You were supposed to be further along by now. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing. They're not going to find us. Guy is using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything. Everyone. They're gonna die. Hey.
I assume it must be, it just happens automatically after you do one of them.
You're
I
here
just realized,
now,
yeah, they
right?
never explicitly mention
So
ether.
is there anything you can do to
right?
help?
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry.
Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
I just think she talks a lot.
You would too,
Who's that?
if you knew everything.
Oh, Barl. Okay.
Hey, you and Aaron okay?
Nothing some rest can't take care of. Are you okay? This beta thing, it's a lot. Even for you.
Just trying to take it one step at a time.
Fair enough. If you need anything, just let me know.
It's good to see you and Zoe enjoying yourselves.
We're learning a lot. I've actually been looking through the data to find ideas for a gift, and to thank her for helping me study the glyphs. Something from the old world that she's never seen before. Instead, I found out they gave each other stuffed animals. If you ask me, stuffing a dead animal with anything, really, doesn't sound like a good time for anybody.
Maybe Gaia can help you find something else. How's everyone dealing with Beta?
I tried explaining what a clone is to Aaron. He was totally lost. Then Zoe said something about 2 trees coming from 1 seed. That seemed to help a bit.
I see everyone settling in.
Zoe's planning on bringing all kinds of plants in here. Says a home should always spring with life anew. I asked Aaron to help find some. I think he'd rather stick his head into a snap mall.
Still, it's not a bad idea. Should liven up the place. I should get back to the wilds.
I'll keep an eye on Beta. Make sure she's comfortable.
Okay.
Aloy, I was able to unlock another room in the main living area.
Good to know. I'll check it out when I can.
Which one?
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia first. It's pretty weird talking to Beta, seeing someone who looks like me. Even though it seems like she doesn't act anything like me. Or Elizabeth, for that matter.
I just don't get this last part.
Maybe we can look at it together later.
It's their room, right? Yeah, so I don't think...
Where'd Cradle go?
Did we talk to him earlier? Whatever, let's just do this first. not what I meant to do.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
excuse me? I'm not even pushing a thing.
Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment, I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology, but not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
I mean, that was silence. Yeah.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Aletheia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The two remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right.
Alright.
Thanks, Guy. So I guess we won't be making use of Cylon's weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more subfunctions to get.
Is there anything?
Error. Drone feed disconnected.
I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a drone thing, but...
Hey, Gaia. I'm back.
Does she have anything to say?
So I see what is on your mind.
Kind of.
How's Cradle doing?
I have detected that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him. In an effort to remedy this, I have discussed a potential solution with him. I believe he will want to fill you in on the details.
A solution? I'll check in with him when I can, then. How are things around here?
Zoe has been studying the morphology of her land gods in an effort to understand their sickness. Without the abilities of Hephaestus, I am unfortunately unable to correct their programming. However, Zoe and I are hopeful we will find an alternative way to heal them.
Well, keep at it. Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time together.
Indeed. While studying Old World data, Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle known as vegetarianism. She appreciated the similarities with Utaru practices and encouraged Varl to try out this lifestyle.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
How's Erend handling things?
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus after an initial incident.
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his temple. Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also blamed the focus for being dainty. He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess. So, I guess Beta's here to stay. I gave her a focus. Told her to talk to you to see if she can help. She's Not what I expected.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Someone more helpful, I guess. And less pessimistic.
It is true she overestimated our progress. However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your abilities emboldened her to escape the Zeniths.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come around.
Are these all new?
What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back...
While I may be, however, a word of warning, like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query alone...
Okay.
I did do these already, right? I don't know, but then it's coming up as new.
So this facility, the Regional Control Center, it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local region, yes. Had humans received their education from the Apollo database, they would have then been guided here to assume operation. As that never happened, this place remained vacant.
Until Minerva decided to settle here. So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the Gaia kernel. It used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriation by Zero Dawn, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer viruses. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated Solutions.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machines. He wanted viruses to infect them with, too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there, one not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project, and it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world, an effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about. There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh plague, the U.S. military resumed the use of human
I'm gonna be honest, I think I might have the
as
end after
automated
this.
machinery
I'm
became
starting to get
reliable.
pretty tired.
It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them.
How many are
When
there?
we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship, necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising. So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the facility's operators would have been able to observe weather and machine activity in real time.
That would have been quite a sight.
It may still be possible to view some of them, should you find and reconnect the cameras to this room's console.
I'll keep a lookout.
Wait, are these new?
So, Project Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world. All working to build the terraforming system while the Feral Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate. Oh, I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety. Eleuthia was responsible for
We did watch this, right?
Apollo was tasked in December. Unfortunate, all archived Apollo.
Pharaoh, huh?
Understand?
Yeah, we did watch.
All
I
three
remember
were.
this.
Do you?
Empowering, unfortunately, as we attaining them.
I guess our bet, but we'll need Hephaestus.
Correct.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I'll be off.
Alright.
For now.
So, wait, there's a quest.
It's a little loud, Aaron.
I know. It makes you want to punch something. More like someone. You're the one that helped me find it. People make mistakes.
There is something I'd like to discuss. It's about the land gods. If you have time, that is.
You said you wanted to talk about the land gods?
I think there's a way to heal them so that they'll once again provide Plainsong with grain. Gaia gave me a set of instructions. She called it, reboot code. If we deliver it to the land gods, their derangement will end.
That's great.
Maybe. There are thorns on the path. Unless the code is given by Hephaestus, the land gods will reject it. Gaia showed me a way around this. We need components called control cores from machines made by Hephaestus. Machines similar to the land gods.
You mean Grimhorns? Like the one we fought in the repair bay?
Yes. Gaia helped me locate 2 of them out west.
So, kill the machines, get the control cores, then
How'd this
use them to adapt the reboot code into
Coming,
something
so
the
get
land
ready
gods
to
will obey.
play.
If all goes well,
Game show.
but
Now
taking
let's
down 2
meet our
Grimhorns won't be
contestants.
easy.
Tanisha,
We'll
the
do it
realist.
together.
Hoops,
Bless you,
Vibe Master.
Ava.
Jessica, the super band.
I'll send you the
Kyle,
location of the
green
machines.
boat. Josh, the hero. Fantastic.
Josh the hero.
Our house get
I'll let you know when I get close to those Grimhorns.
Good. If we can get their control cores, maybe we really can heal the land gods.
So we have a lot of stuff we can do now, right? Yeah, so this really opened a lot of stuff up. We didn't get any, I just realized that though. We didn't get any, thing to do this. Wait, where's it? The tall neck. Where the fuck did the tall neck go? Wait, we went all the way over there? I have no memory of going all the way over there. Where did the tall neck go? Isn't it supposed to be here? Whatever. So, but yeah, so, next episode, we will go ahead and do side content. I just realized something else though. Didn't what's his face want to talk to us? It's not the room. It's not that one.
Are you sure that's what the data says?
So that's where the rebels
There it
chose
is.
to take a stand. Something on your mind?
Well, she said he wanted to talk to us. He doesn't want to talk to us. Fuck you then. Alright, and I'll search this out. Yeah, so let's go and figure out exactly what we want to do first. So we did do that stuff. I did everything over here, right, that I wanted to do. The emphasis on that I wanted to do. That's just the pit. Yeah, so we essentially did it. Yeah, not gonna bother Machine Strike. I do find that weird that they bothered to fast travel us all the way over there. I don't know, what's here? I mean, I guess we could tag a side mission. Should probably do that. Guess we'll just go here. Maybe it's because we're in the base that the map is kind of fucked. Yeah, because now the tall mech shows up. But we still can't do it, though, so that's kind of weird. Yeah, so now all the missions are showing up now. So there's a thing there, down there. Oh, that's the main mission. Either way. There's a lot on the map right now. What the fuck? Didn't this even have some side quest? Or did I activate? Maybe I did activate them. Oh, there's a side quest here. Oh, kind of searching to not activate it now. Let's do that then. Oh, there's like a lot here. Okay. Well, should I just do them all now? Yeah, I guess we'll have to them all now.
She's clear to enter. Keep your blade right.
We defended the coup. The visions of the Ten are renewed. An honor, champion. I'm Nako. Have you been out to the Valley of the Fallen by chance?
Don't think I have. Why? What's there?
My idiot little brother. The valley is a test of endurance and skill from my clan, the Lowlanders. But it's been closed for months. Commander's orders. There have been reports of strange lights off the coast, and the whole area is crawling with deadly machines. But Dax, reckless and bare-armed as he is, went in anyway. Never takes no for an answer. Convinced 2 others to go with him, too. They've been missing for days, and now Marshal Ivir has been sent in to bail them out.
Strange lights, deadly machines, and missing soldiers. Sounds like a lot, even for a marshal.
I'd go by myself, if I wasn't stuck on transport duty.
I'll find your brother, if I can. Where is this valley?
Southwest of here, in the depths of lowland territory. Look for the climbing path on the cliffs. It marks the start of the valley. And if you see my brother, knock him on his ass for making me worry.
Strange lights off the coast. Whatever it is, it can't be good. I should look into it when I'm...
Champion, I fear we must lean on your strength and generosity again.
Just tell it to her straight, Ducka. The tribe needs the arena. She's our only hope to getting it open again.
You need the arena? But the coup is over.
That's true, but we also use the arena to boost the tribe's morale.
We use it for training. Herd in machines so our soldiers can experience the glory of the kill in a controlled setting.
Which, of course, boosts morale. But Chief Hikaru won't let us reopen the arena until the ballista protecting the field is repaired.
We need it in case the machine runs out and is damaged during the coup. The parts we need aren't easy to find.
I get it. You need me to hunt down some machines and grab the parts.
We'd ask someone else, but every squad in the Grove is on alert. But the task is not without compensation, right, Kala?
Of course. Once the arena is open again, I would be honored to invite you to compete. A wide variety of machines will be available.
And I will award you prizes for victory, not just from the arena, but also for medals won at hunting grounds. You'll be able to trade them for some of the tribe's very best gear.
To fix the ballista, we'll need a sinew from a rollerback, along with some bristleback tusks. Both kinds of machines have been spotted near a campfire to the southeast. You can bring the parts back to me here when you're done.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
One more thing. If you're going back into the wilds, I have another duty tied to our soldiers' morale. Incredible one. Every Tenakth soldier carries a tag carved with their squad symbol. Rebels have been hoarding the tags of the soldiers they kill. You might find such tags at any enemy outpost. If you do, bring them to me. I'll make sure they're returned to the soldier squad mates and loved ones. Having confirmation sometimes sweets and grief. And there are bound
Why is the audio so bad?
matters to you.
I've already found some of those tags.
Here, a small reward for your efforts. Don't let your guard down. There are still many outposts in the wilds.
Thank you, champion. And please don't forget the parts for the ballista.
She's my best friend. As a single mom, you know, it's not easy, but no matter how difficult some days can be, I look at her and she's nothing to respect, and I feel really lucky to have her. We have watched Big Brother together, so she's just going to be really proud of the key on the
Guess I need to head southeast to find my rollerback. I already have enough bristleback tusks on me.
anything that I need, she's just always there. I couldn't do this without her. The biggest goal of mine going into Big Brother is to just showcase that single moms are badass and they can do it all. Being a mom at home, I'll probably end up being the mama bear at the house, even though I don't really look like a mama bear, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just a mom, I'm a hot young woman, and I'm definitely going to use it where I need to. Oh my god, I'm just so excited. I can't even put it into words. Adito!
Aloy. Blood of the Ten, Aloy. Regala denied. The truth of the visions revealed. I doubt you have enough skin to mark all your deeds.
We'll just have to remember them then.
Yes, of course. Hello, all my
Thanks
readers
to
and
you,
naysayers.
the
It's
chief
yours
still
truly.
lives.
This isn't like
And
my
we're waiting
mic
for a
down,
miracle.
right?
It can, some of my
But that's
best.
not why I
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
like,
speak
why the
with you.
fuck is the audio so bad on this?
I need a favor.
Hey, I'm Summer.
A
I'm
personal
25 years
My
from
grandson,
Memphis.
Cradle,
I live
who
in
is
St.
not counted
Catharines,
among the dead,
and
which
I'm
means he must
unemployed.
still be with Regala's remaining forces.
I am very
He was taken
expressive.
prisoner.
I love to
No.
film music videos,
He
take
joined
photos.
Van Willen.
The way I like to spice
Like
up my
many
life is
young
by
soldiers
doing a
who
little
seek to
celebratory
mark their skin
squirt.
with
I'm sure you
distinguished
guys probably
deeds.
like this girl on.
I must search
But
for
there's
him.
just these little
Convince
outbursts
him to
of
come home.
goofiness.
Chief Hikaru cannot spare
My
any
level
soldiers
of
for this
pettiness
task, so my blade
a lot.
is alone in
I'm
this.
so petty. I auditioned for Big Brother
Unless you'd be
because
willing
the
to
character
join me.
that I didn't like
I know it is much
liked
to
the
ask
show.
after all you've
And
done
I
for
just wanted to
us.
get up in her face and say, hey,
But Cavo
you
is
messed
the
with the
last
wrong
of
one.
my blood.
And now I'm on your favorite TV show. When it's time to, strike an attack, the pettiness will definitely come in handy. For sure.
I'll help you find your grandson, if I can.
Got the receipt.
Where do we start?
Now, guys.
A while back, our scouts
My
reported
mom is my
Cavo's
favorite
squad left one of
person.
Regala's outposts in the
She's
hills
my
to
ride
the
or
south.
die.
His
My
squad
mom
never
is Jamaican
returned,
and
but the
Panamanian.
scouts
Shout out to
also
all my
spotted
Canadian
one of
Jamaicans
our
out there.
own
She named me
being
Summer,
held
but she
captive.
loves the winter, right?
So we'll start at the
Winter is my
outpost.
favorite
If we
season.
free the prisoner, maybe they'll know where
Surviving
Cavo's
in the
squad
baby
went.
parent house for
Shall we
70
head out?
days. I feel like it's gonna be easy. I'm used to people talking. I'm used to people manipulating others. This is my life. That's probably why I love Big Brother Canada so much. People think that I'm this sweet, innocent person, but if you're too
I
in
have
my
some other things to
face,
take
if
care
you're
of
trying to
first.
reach too
I can
much,
meet you there.
the winter in
I'll
me
wait for
is
you on the
gonna
hill
come out,
crest southeast
and
of
I'm
the
going to
grove.
put you in your place.
We'll make our way to the outpost from there. Until then, strike true.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, I think we'll end here. Got a save point there. And then we'll figure out what we want to do next episode. I haven't manual save in like almost 3 hours. Where are we at time-wise? Yeah, like 2.5. So that's something. I've only killed 159 machines. It definitely feels like way more than that. But yeah, either way, we'll end here. Next episode, continue on again. We'll do that tomorrow morning. Hopefully, we'll see. But now, thanks for watching, though.